Hey, friends of Two Crones and a Mic, we're back with a new episode. We're going to have some funny things to say. We're going to share some stories today. And today's episode is about following Spirit's wisdom. So we're going to get into that about what that means or what we mean by that. But as usual, our wonderful Indira, Reverend Indira, is going to do a grounding meditation for us.
Yeah, welcome, welcome. So, if it is safe for you to close your eyes and to move into your heart center, please do so now. Let's take 3 nice cleansing breaths together and exhale. Another one and exhale. And the last one. And exhale. To come together, joining our hearts and our minds in this space, knowing that this is the right and the perfect time. No matter if you're listening to this the day that it drops or 4 years later, no matter when we have recorded it, we are still one in spirit together. So we come in with light hearts and light minds today, speaking of serious things, but in a humorous way. And trusting that each of us are following divine order, understanding that though things may not be perfect, everything is in perfect alignment for the soul's growth of each and every person involved. And for that, and to all of the things that have remained unsaid, we are grateful. And so it is.
So it is. Amen.
So we went to a gem and mineral show last weekend, and it was probably one of the funniest things before and after.
Yes.
So
Oh my gosh.
I'll start with my side of it, and the reason that we're doing this is because we want to talk about following Spirit's wisdom. And sometimes following Spirit's wisdom is really, really freaking funny. Like, it's just
It is.
funny. There's a lot of humor. Spirit. My mentor used to say that angels fly because they take themselves lightly. And I always loved that
That's a good
statement.
one.
So you and I decided that we wanted to go to the Gem and Mineral Show, and I had a friend that also wanted to go, and so she and I drove up together up near the airport, and then you met us there,
Mhm.
and so that kind of sets it up. So we're pulling like down the road. There's all these cars up and down the side of the road, and it just didn't dawn on me that that many people would be at a gem and mineral show.
Yeah.
It was very surprising to me.
It was.
So
It was.
so I said to my friend, I was like, "Are we in a parade or something? Did we take a wrong turn? Like, I don't understand. Like, why are all these cars here?" And she laughed. She was like, "No, Indira, they're like parking for the gem and mineral show." And I was like, "Why?" You know, I was like, I don't understand why. So, so we end up trying to find a place in the parking lot. There was a parking lot. It was very large. It was absolutely full. And so she says, turn down this row. So we do. And right as we turn, this car pulls out and we are able to pull in. And we are about 5 rows from the constant 20-minute line. And I say that because that line never stopped being 20 minutes long. No matter how many people came in, no matter how many people left, it was the incessant 20-minute line. And so we got there about an hour before you did.
An hour? I didn't know that. I thought.
Yeah. We got there a little bit early, and so you texted me and called, and you're like, "Hey, I'm here," and I said, "I don't know how much how much longer we're gonna be able to stay." And what did you think when I said that? You were like,
I'm like, what? I just got here. I just literally paid my fee to get in, and I'm standing there in the hallway or in the foyer talking to you on the phone. You're like, I don't know how long we're going to stay. And I'm like, I just got here. What are you talking about? I just, and you
Yeah.
know what? What you don't know is when I got there, of course, I didn't even try to go into the parking lot. I parked literally in the next city, okay, up the street. Then I had to
The next
walk like 5 miles down the hill, and it rained the day before, so I did forgot that
day.
things were muddy. And then there was a little hill I had to go down because I had to walk in the grass and in the bushes, and I slip. Okay,
Oh,
so I am on my knee sliding down this hill. So I have to get in line with a dirty hand, mud on my hand. My left leg is like muddy. So when I got in, I actually had to go to the bathroom first and stick my leg under the faucet to wash off the mud. And then you call me, and then the
and
first thing
I'm
you say,
like,
I don't know how long we're
I
going
don't
to
know.
stay. I'm like, I did not just go through all of this to go home. There's no way I'm doing
I
this,
know.
okay? So
So then I said, "Well, we'll meet you at the front door.
right.
We'll head to the front door because there were 10,000 people there." And that may be
Yes.
an little overstatement, but there were 9,950 people there. It
Uh-huh.
was ridiculous. So we meet her at the front door. She walks in. And I had no idea you had just been through hell
Yeah.
trying to get in there. And I'm just like, I don't know how much longer we're gonna stay.
Uh-huh.
And, and so you walk in and you're like, oh, now, now I understand.
Yeah.
That many crystals and that many people in that space, I was amazed it still had a roof and walls.
Yes. I agree.
The energy was intense. Intense. My friend was very smart. She's like, I'm not afraid of COVID right now, but I just need to put a barrier between me and this, all
Yeah.
of this that's happening out here. And I said, girl, I got do it. Like, like do it. Yes, I understand. So we walked around for what? About another hour, maybe?
Mm, I don't think you held on that long.
We may not
Maybe
have. Yeah, maybe
no, maybe
for
45
I don't know.
minutes, 40 minutes,
Yeah.
something like that. I just kind of went off on my own and did my thing and looked around and
Yeah.
met up with a friend that was there.
So we get home and well, actually you get home and I'm on the phone with you and I'm like, I don't know that we're going to be able to record the podcast today. I
Yeah.
just don't know that I'm going to be able to do it. I feel terrible. Like I feel my body feels terrible. And you said, yeah, I'm there too. And
Mhm.
so about 8 o'clock that night, I send this text message, and we're going to actually put screenshots of this text message on with this posting because I was describing this to my husband, and he's like, that is gold, you guys. Like, this is funny stuff. The stuff between the two of you is funny. So I found this meme that says, I'm at the age where not finding parking for an event is enough to make me go home. And I said, I almost tested this belief today. And then you said, do you have your phone? Can you do
I
you
don't have
have
my
it?
phone here, no.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So then Bettina says back to me, LOL, I had that thought today. Funny you messaged me. I was just thinking about you, LOL. Man, I was as sick as a dog after this show.
I
I slept
was.
for 2 hours and I am still jittery. Now, this is where I feel like I need to step in and say, this isn't our first rodeo, folks.
We're
We
not
have been
rookies.
doing, we are, we're not newbies at this. We have been doing this for decades, decades. But there was something about that place. And so I said, I said back to you, I literally said to my friend, I am not prepared for this. Are we committed to going in? And I said, and this is 8 o'clock. And I think I got home around two or three.
Mhm.
No, it would have been three because I think we met around noon. And I said, and I still haven't got up yet, and I still feel awful. And you said, same here. I'm on the couch eating carbs that usually help me ground. Oh my gosh, that was something. Next time I go in, I am armed with protection
Mhm.
crystals. I said, at the very least. And I'm thinking garlic necklaces and huge crosses. And you said, "Yes, and we have to spray holy water too,"
Oh
with
my
all these
God, we
laughing
do.
emojis, right?
Yes.
And I said, "I have 4 bottles of holy water. We are set." And I said, "And I honestly don't know why I have 4 bottles. It isn't like I'm expecting a vampire invasion, but here we are." And you said, laughing my ass off, "Me too," because it is true.
It's
And
true.
so I brought with me today my 4 bottles of holy water to, to prove
Yes,
my
she
point.
really
And
did.
I
No kidding. She has those.
I don't know why I have 4 bottles of holy water. We can add, we have a mutual friend that I
Hmm.
actually got 3 of these bottles with. I don't know why. So here's what it literally says: holy water, just in case
Yes.
you didn't know. And it is from the Santuario de Chamayo in Chamayo, New Mexico. Okay, there's a whole beautiful story about the sanctuary of Chamayo. And then I have one with the Blessed Virgin on it from the Loretto, which is also in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And then I have one that has the Blessed Virgin with Jesus. And this is from the Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi. And so those are 3 of my holy waters. And then I have a holy water that has been blessed by um, the hugging saint Amma from India. And so I got this when I went to visit her. And I do, you can tell, like, my Chamayo bottle has been used. There's a little bit out of the top, and definitely the holy water from India has been used. And I I don't know why I have it. I guess in case demons and vampires come into my apartment. I don't know. And I really feel
Or
like
we're
we
going
need.
to the crystal show, but where was she comes up to my she comes to my house today and she's like, "Oh, look all the stuff I have. Isn't that cool?" I'm like, "Yeah, but where was that last week?
I
Cannot count on you."
I think I need to call our mutual
Mhm.
friend that I got all of those with, and be like, "Why do I have all these bottles of holy water? What was I thinking when we were in New Mexico?" Because we went there for a
Yeah.
trip. Oh my gosh. But what this leads us to is following Spirit's wisdom
Yes.
and how we get those messages. We knew we needed to be at that spirit, or that not that spirit fair, that gem and mineral show. We knew we needed to be there. It inspired some stuff in us. And so we said, okay, let's make this happen. Let's go.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we survived barely, but we
Barely.
we survived.
I held on as long as I could because I knew I had to buy something. So I walked around
So
maybe a
talk
lot.
about that. Talk about
So
how did you know you needed to buy something?
I knew that I had to be there and buy something green. And actually, I did. I don't know how. I just knew I had to do that.
Do you have it? Do you
But
have it with you?
I have it.
Show us. Would you have to buy? Oh wow, what is it? Okay, so tell us what it is.
It's a healer right or serpent. I think it's
Like a
serpentine.
serpentine?
Yeah,
Hmm.
serpentine. And so I just had to have it. So I had to find something green. I don't know what it was before I went in there, but I knew I had to find something green.
Yeah.
But I walked around after I split off with you guys and I just walked up and down the aisle and I looked at everything as fast as I could because I could tell I'm getting sick, like nauseated. And I kept telling myself, it's like, okay, don't get sick, don't get sick, don't get sick. And I kept taking deep, deep breath, you know?
It's not like
And
we're ungrounded. This is
no,
not our first rodeo.
it's yes,
Like we said.
yes,
Mhm,
yes. But I did walk around and then I even hung out with Wes, our friend, a little
mhm.
bit, and that helped me a little bit. But I just figured I'll just go back and buy the first thing I saw and I'm getting the heck out of there. And so I did. And I went home and I just fell on the couch. My dogs are like all happy to see me. And I'm like, I can't. I just
I
can't right now.
can't.
I
Yeah.
just dropped on the couch. And the next thing I knew, you called me. And that I just didn't get up anymore for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. So I knew there was something there I needed. I did not know what it was. And that's what happens, like
Mm-hmm.
you go and you know there's something you need.
Yeah.
And so what I found was this piece of pyrite, and I'm
Ooh.
obsessed with heart-shaped crystals. I don't wear hearts on my body. You'll notice I've got circles and teardrops and any tassels, I'll wear tassels.
Hmm.
Which is a whole other story for a whole other podcast about tassels. I have a story about tassels, and I learned how to twirl them from a burlesque dancer once. So, anyway,
I need to hear this story for real.
this gorgeous pyrite, and I didn't even. I Here's the thing: if you go to a spirit fair, a gem and mineral show, something like that, and you are drawn to a crystal,
Hmm.
don't stop and Google it at that moment and wonder why. Just grab it and go, and know
Yeah.
that you'll figure it out later. Like, just grab it and go. And so I
Yeah.
did. I looked up pyrite, and you were right. Pyrite is all about um, prosperity and
Hmm.
abundance. But there
Hmm.
was something else about pyrite. I want to say, I'll find it here in a second. Um, Properties. I meant to have this one up. Um, there were some things that were going on. That's it. Creativity. So I'm pretty open about what I'm going through, and I'm going through some major EMDR right now. And as I rewire my brain, and I'm moving out of survival mode. My creativity part is wanting to really, like, she's wanting to express herself, self worth, mental clarity. It strengthens the solar plexus chakra, which is, I believe, the chakra that is about creativity.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And then vitality, as well as attracting abundance and prosperity. So I was like, oh, when I got home and I Googled it, I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I needed today. So I want
Hmm.
to talk about, I think that's what we want to talk about today is
Yeah.
all the times that we have followed, and if we did all of them, we'd be here for like 2 days. So a few of the more key times that we have followed spirit's guidance, and we're kind of like gobsmacked, like I knew that I needed to be there and I didn't
Yeah.
know why. And here it is. So what is something that you have? Tell us a story.
So really what I can tell you is I do a lot of readings. And yesterday I was, as you know, I was in Colombia for a 1 day event. And what I'm going to tell you comes up very frequently or more often lately. Okay. So when I do a reading, or I have done 2 readings yesterday, and it came up in those 2 readings. When people go through something, let's just say trauma, or you know, let's use trauma. So we talk about things. I can't tell you everything that I obviously talk about in a reading, but this one thing sometimes comes up that spirit wants me to tell my client is find a crystal. Find something that you can have with you that gives you strength and protection and courage, just something that it's a tool that you can hold on to. Okay. And then every single client asks me exactly which one do you want me to get. And I always tell them it's not about what I want you to get, it's about what reaches out to you. Okay. I tell them exactly this: do not just go and buy a crystal because somebody tells you to. Go and browse as long as you need to and let the crystal find you. Okay. And it doesn't matter what it is, what kind of crystal it is. Whatever reaches out to you, whatever you see and you know that's the one, pick it up and take it, because the crystal chose you. It's not that you pick the crystal, the crystal picks its owner. And of course we buy crystals sometimes for certain, properties, or for certain, like, especially if you do crystal healing,
Mhm.
for certain like benefits. Okay. But if you're looking for like one crystal that you can have with you, that's your ride and die, like your extension of yourself, pick the one that you have a connection to. And no matter what it is, that's the one. And that's the one who will, or that will do all of those things for you. It doesn't matter which one it is. You
Yeah.
just need to find one that's yours.
What's your ride
Okay.
or die
My
crystal?
ride or die is a clear quartz crystal.
Clear quartz
I
crystal.
love them. I don't know. I
Mine
mean, I
is
feel
rose
so drawn
quartz.
to it.
Yeah,
Rose quartz.
rose quartz. That is my ride or die. I don't have very much jewelry with it, but
I
it
don't
is.
either.
I've got a lot of rose quartz in my home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna give the example. I'm gonna be the
Mm-hmm.
example of what you just
Mm-hmm.
said.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to see my husband yesterday, and then afterwards, a mutual friend of ours had made me a beautiful doll. Basically, she had made me a doll, and she said, "You need to come up and get it. I'll be at the spirit fair. There's a spirit fair this weekend." And it wasn't very far from visiting my husband, so I, headed over that direction and went in. And while I was there, I thought I would say hello to our family, because Bettina, we have an extended family, the people that we've been doing spirit
Mm-hmm.
fairs with for, the last however many years. And so I see Julia, I get the doll. Actually ran into somebody that I used to work with. I see Jojo and Heidi and Denise and Jill, and I go to Tammy Joe's space, and
Mm-hmm.
she is my
Mm-hmm.
my mentor for shamanic practitioner training. And I don't know why I keep picking crystals that I don't know what they are. Now I did the one that I was very, very drawn to, and again, I just said a little bit ago, mine are always heart shaped. Don't know
Mm-hmm.
why.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is crazy lace agate.
It's
So I picked
beautiful.
it up and I love it. I loved it. And I knew what it was. I just got it confirmed through Tammy Jo. I'm like, that's crazy lace agate, right? And she's like, yeah. And then I picked up these. And I was so drawn to them, especially this one. I really loved it. Looked
Mm-hmm.
like a sun on the back. And then there was just something about almost has like rainbows through it. And I was just really, really drawn to them. And so, Tammy's trying to do healing sessions on people. And I'm asking Mark, I'm like, I'm so sorry, but do we know what these are? And he's like, let me just ask Tammy. I'm like, she's bless her heart. And she's like, ocean jasper. And I was like, fine, I'll take them. I'll take them. That's fine. I'll go. And I didn't stop to look them up, but I was just drawn to them. And I didn't know why. And I didn't know anything about them at all. I do have a crazy lace agate, which looks a little bit like that. Never had ocean jasper. So here's the thing. Now keep in mind that I am going through immense amounts, like hyper intensive EMDR around some major trauma that I experienced as a small child. Ocean jasper, strength, relaxation, and renewal with a steady, slow frequency and a deep circular energy that embodies the interconnectedness of all things. There's a story here. Creativity. Remember, I was talking about that as the EMDR is rewiring my brain, my creative side is starting to come out. It promotes creativity and innovation. It also helps you release negative emotions and past traumas, increasing your positivity and inspiration. So it supports as I do the EMDR. It also stimulates your energy, creating a positive flow within you. It uplifts you and brings you joy. So that's what the two smaller stones do. And then the crazy lace agate. It encourages an appreciation of life, youthful encounters, liveliness, and mental agility, encourages clear decision making, assists you in dealing with unresolved emotional pain,
Mm-hmm.
helps you find laughter and joy, increases stamina and physical energy. It is also circular and flowing, and it helps overcome depression and despair, uplifting and increasing your self-esteem. And I was like, dang,
Mm-hmm.
dang, dang,
Dang, dang.
dang, dang, ding,
And you
ding,
didn't
dang,
know
dang.
any of this before you bought it, right?
No, I was
You
just
just
drawn.
felt drawn to it.
And so I have stopped questioning
Yeah.
when I'm drawn to something. And even though I didn't necessarily have the $30 to buy three $10, crystals, um, I trusted. I
Mm-hmm.
trust. I trust that I'm going to be
Trust.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and so that leads us to this situation. So I was telling you
Mm-hmm.
on my way in today that I was having a meeting at my job with someone, and she said that she and some people in her ministry are studying this book, Sacred Earth, Sacred Soul by John Philip Newell.
Mm-hmm.
and that I had been hearing kind of in my thoughts, maybe in my dreams, maybe when I'm waking up, I don't know, just about remembering the sacredness of life, which is such a crone thing. Crones totally get the sacredness of life, right?
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
everything is sacred. Everything has a life to it. Everything has a sacredness to
Yeah.
it. And so I've been hearing about that in, kind of in my sleeping, awakened thoughts, whatever that is. And so she tells us about that book. I immediately look the book up, put it on my wish list for Amazon, go to like the website because he has a school, and put a deposit down for a weekend retreat with him. And I've never read the book at this time. I did this a couple weeks ago. Never read the book. I had I didn't know anything about this at all, except that it was Celtic wisdom for reawakening to what our souls know and healing the world. And it's all about that understanding the sacredness of everything. That's what it's about, sacred or sacred soul. And those whispers that we get, that you, Bettina, you going into that spirit fair knowing that you needed to buy
Mhm. Mhm.
something green,
Mhm. Mhm.
that is a sacred message from your divine team, from what, from
Correct.
your higher
Yes.
self, whatever you want to call it. That's sometimes we call that the amakua in
Mhm.
shamanic teachings. We call
Mhm.
that higher self, your amakua. It's the purest aspect of your soul that is completely untouched by humanity.
Yes.
Um, Same with all of my dagum heart-shaped crystals that I have that just bring that sacred energy in. So what I
Yeah.
did last night is I pulled out these 4, by the way, and my other one, which is my prophecy stone or my shaman stone, which we'll talk about. And I put them just up and down my body and just laid there, and I literally fell asleep
Yeah.
because of the sacred life that is within a rock, a
It
crystal,
is. It's
right?
part of Mother Nature.
It is. And
Mhm.
it's that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just following spirit's wisdom.
Sometimes we don't have to know right away. And that's when, Spirit is talking to me right now, trying to make me remind everyone. We talked about this in previous episodes. First, we had a Friday message once where we talked about trust that everything is going to be okay. And so Spirit is talking to me right now saying, remind them about that. You don't always have to see the full big picture, but just trust that it's going to happen. It's going to come together. It's like a puzzle piece, you just keep putting those pieces together, and one day or at some point you will see the whole picture, or you kind of have an idea what it's going to be, even though you didn't put the last pieces in yet, but just trust that, that's how life is. Just keep putting those pieces together and trust that it's going to be a bigger picture. And also, when you follow your inner wisdom, like the gut feeling, or that feeling you have in the pit of your stomach, like you just have to do something, or you just know that this is what you need at that moment, that also ties into an episode we had about choosing yourself. You don't listen to other people telling you don't need that, no, that's just you being all crazy. No, it's not. It's something that you need to do. You
Yeah.
choose yourself at that point as well.
So I've learned how to do this,
Mm-hmm.
that I just say yes and spirit
Yeah.
provides.
Yes.
So, oh my gosh, it's probably been 15, 16 years now. About 14, 15 years, yeah. That I had a friend call me and say, I know you love everything India. So they're doing this thing uh, at a yoga studio up here in the Northland. And I'm going to get you a ticket to it. It's $50. We're going to go together. And she knew that I was really, really broke at the time. And she was like, we're going to get up here. We're going to do this. And she said, I just know that you're supposed to be there. And I said, okay, great. And so we go, and there's all these people talking about this thing called oneness, right? Oneness. And just, you know, for the cheap seats, yes, my mother uh assisted in raising like 14 children, right? And I was one of the youngest of those. And she um voted me her child most likely to join a cult. So, you know,
Hmm.
just run with this, okay? So anyway, there's a thing called oneness, and
Interesting.
she's not wrong. And it was from India, and it was all about raising our energetic vibrations that we could experience the oneness with life. And had no idea what they were talking about. And I was still very young. I was very young, energetically speaking. But I just knew, like, I've got to go. I got to be there. And it was going to be $200 to go. And they came around, they gave us all oneness blessings, and I got the giggles. They put their hands on my head and did put some energy into me, and I got the giggles so bad that I was like rolling around on the floor. And I spent the next 6 years devoting myself to my own personal growth, uh, while I contributed to the collective
Mm-hmm.
consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And I made lifelong friends there. I had fantastic experiences there. I healed so much trauma there. Oh my gosh. So unpatterned myself with for a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
It was and had some amazingly profound experiences. I had no idea going into it, but I knew that day when she said it's $200, I'm like, I am going to find a way. I'm going to sell a kidney. I'm going to do what I have to do. I am going to be there. And I did. I manifested. I aligned with that money. I
Yeah.
aligned with getting there. And I had some of the most amazing, profound experiences, made some of the best friends. Oh my goodness sakes. It was a phenomenal experience. And it's all because it started out exactly the same way this thing is going, right? This whole thing with John Philip Newell. It is the same thing. I was like, okay, I think I need to go. And then I just bought the ticket and I went, and it was profound. And
Good.
this feels exactly like that. And I just stopped questioning.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, the gut feeling, I mean, we talked about crystals a lot, but I just want everybody to know this is not just for crystals. It's just,
Yeah.
that was just one example. You know, if you go with your gut feeling or if you feel like you need to do something, that's for everything in your life.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, we're equipped with so many gifts we're not even tapping into. And one of the gifts is just our higher self, our spirit guides who constantly talk to us and want to guide you or us into the right direction. We just always ignore them, or
Yeah.
a lot of times, you know. But we really need to learn to listen to ourselves, you
Hmm.
know, and choose ourselves, and you know, do what makes us happy.
And trust that someday you'll need
Yes.
4 bottles of holy water
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something.
Yes. I will hold this against you for a very long time that we didn't have those last weekend, okay?
Oh my gosh. So I love what you were saying there, because sometimes, and I'm going to go back to the crystal thing just because
Hmm.
crystals are kind of our gig, right? But
Yeah.
um, I, we were getting ready to do a fair.
Hmm.
Actually, I'm going to do a different one. I was getting ready to go to a fair with one of our friends, and before I left, I just grabbed my book of crystals, and I was like, which one do I need? And I opened to one called the shaman stone. I had never even heard of it before. I had never heard of it. They are they are harvested by Native Americans on Native American land, and they're really like a piece of iron, honestly. And I'd never heard of them, and I was like, okay, I've never even seen this before. But if you think I'm going to find one at the spirit fair, okay. Like I was like almost like baiting spirit. And I went to our friend Julia's table. And because I always go see Julia, Julia is an amazing human being. And I looked down, and there were 3 shaman stones in this little bowl
Woohoo.
sitting
Wow.
there. And they were $5 each. And I got one, and what I loved about it, because this is when I was really starting to dive into, like, the goddess work, is it's actually shaped like a yoni, if you
What's a
will,
yoni for people who don't know?
a vagina.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay,
It's
then.
so it's shaped like a vagina, and it's part of that goddess healing, that healing the divine feminine that has been, assaulted over and over and over again.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I need the yoni one. I need the
Yeah.
vagina one. And I carry it around with me, and I point out to everyone before they point it out to me. Did you know this looked like a yoni? As a matter of fact, I did. That's why I got it
Got you.
for $5. So anyway, sometimes we'll say to spirit, give me a message,
Yeah.
give me a sign. So my EMDR on Friday was like super intense, and I wasn't sure that it worked. I'm going to be really honest. I was not sure that it worked. I wasn't feeling the same way after that I normally feel after EMDR. I was angry. I was really angry when I left.
Interesting.
And I'm normally like high, like it's a whole lot like I have smoked some doobage and am, trying to drive home like
You
that.
have the most interesting expressions. Yoni and dubage. Like, I have no idea what she's talking about.
I think doobage is like a word from uh Fast Times at Ridgemont High or something like that. Like, or
Okay.
no, or maybe it was nope,
See how innocent I am? And
it
you're
was
just
Breakfast
like
Club.
your
Oh,
bad influence.
stick with me, kid. I'll
You're
take care
bad
of you.
influence.
Actually, I think
Uh-huh.
it's from the Breakfast Club. Actually think it's Judd Nelson's character. He's like,
Oh, okay.
can I smoke my doobage? And which means not
Yeah.
vagina. It means
Mm-hmm.
marijuana. Anyway, I'm usually pretty stoned after that, and I wasn't. And I don't smoke any MDR. It's just the feeling that you have. It's
Yes,
just this
yes.
lightheadedness. And I'm driving home, and I said, Spirit, I am very concerned that this is not working. Like
Mm-hmm.
this one today is not working. And I don't want to go through that again. That was a nightmare. And I said, I need a sign that it worked. And so, it's like I can literally feel spirit now waiting, going like, what do you want? What do you want to see? Like, we got this. And I'm like, well, of course, repetitive numbers are always helpful, like
Uh-huh.
111,
Uh-huh.
222, 333, whatever. That's fine. Give me repetitive numbers. But more so, what if, I don't know, what if you showed me rainbows and hearts? Because that is something that, and I said, and you don't get to use any of my crystal hearts. Like that does not count. You got to show me rainbows and hearts somewhere outside of like what is surrounding my bedroom. Right.
Yes.
And within 3 hours, I was starting to see like tarot cards with rainbows and hearts on them.
There
I
you
was
go.
seeing greeting cards with rainbows and hearts on them. And it hasn't stopped yet. I've seen hearts that are the color of rainbows. I've seen rainbows in the shape of hearts. I've seen rainbows with little hearts, like clouds at the bottom of. It's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
you can, just like I asked
Yes.
spirit, like what crystal you want me to get? It's a crystal I've never even heard of. I've never seen. By the way, it feels like iron. It looks like poop.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It looks like it's
I
little
have one of
turds.
those, by the way.
I'd never seen it before. And spirit shows up for it.
Yeah.
So not only did they talk to us when we are not always listening,
Mm-hmm.
but they will absolutely show up when you ask them for a
Yes.
sign.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
going to tell you, also listen for the no's.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you ask for a sign and you don't see it ever, 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 that's your no. That is not for your best and highest good. You are asking for that from a place of ego or
Yeah.
fear or lack, or it's going to take you way off
Mm-hmm.
course.
Mm-hmm.
I did that one time. I asked to see, I don't know, a particular car or something like that because we were on a road trip. And I'd been seeing those cars all along. I'm like, yeah, I got this. And then all of a sudden, those cars just disappeared. There wasn't another one of those cars on the road for the next 2,000 miles.
Wow.
So that was my big fat no. And I was very disappointed. And that's okay because spirit isn't here to make us happy. They're here to
It's not always
communicate.
a yes, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
The yes was just the other direction.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell
So,
clients
yeah.
sometimes in a reading, you know, they're like, well, I talk to my spirit guides, but I don't hear anything. I don't get any answers. And I always say, yes, you do. You're just not paying attention to it. And then the other day I had a client and it was so funny. She was a little younger. She said, yeah, I do talk to my spirit guides, but all they show me is like marshmallow cats and all kinds of weird things that I have no idea what to make of. And I said, you know what? Then you need to learn to communicate with your spirits. It's almost like when you date someone, you get to know that person and you figure out what's their language, how do they communicate. So that's the same with your spirit guides. You have to nurture this relationship between you and them. And if they show you marshmallow cats, then you tell them, spirit guides, I have no idea what you want to tell me with this. Make it clear for me so I can understand what it is. So I even tell my students when I teach Akashic Records, if you see or hear something or feel something and you don't know what to make of it, you have to start a dialogue. Okay, you
Yeah.
do not have to accept what they give you. You start a dialogue and you say, okay, I don't get this. Show me something else. Or can you clarify? Okay, you talk to them until you get it, what it is that they want to show you. So you have to have a communication with them or a
You can
conversation.
also, I agree with that. And you can
Yeah.
also tell them, if you want me to understand something, show me this, like very
Yes. Yes.
specifically. Like I had asked for rainbows and hearts, which is very unlike me actually to ask for rainbows and hearts. It's usually something a little more concrete than that. And but you can give them your language. In fact, when I teach
Yeah.
talking to spirit, I use a lot of the John Edward. I don't know if any of you have ever watched John Edward, but I love John Edward, and he is very specific. He's like, I know when they show me red roses, that is romantic love. I know when they show me yellow roses, that is familial love.
Yeah.
I know when they show me Henry Winkler, that they're showing me an Uncle Henry or somebody, like somebody like he's
Yeah.
very specific in his languaging with them as well, because they're going to show you what makes sense to
Mm-hmm.
them. And
Right.
like marshmallow cats.
Probably made sense to them in some way, but it didn't make sense
Yeah,
to that person.
exactly. So you can also request, and I like when you talked about asking for clarifiers.
Yeah.
If you use a tarot or oracle and you get the same thing, you get some kind of a message that just is unclear, like, what does this mean? Ask for a clarifier.
Yeah.
Pull another card. Say, this is the clarifying card for this. Help me understand what you're trying to say. And so
Yes.
you can ask for clarifiers.
Exactly.
It's how we learn to communicate with anyone, right?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. It's a
well, we
relationship you
hope
have.
go ahead, bud. Say that again.
No, I just said it's a relationship you have with your spirit guides too.
Yeah, you've got to learn their love language. They got to learn
Yep.
yours.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we hope that you got a little chuckle out of our day. This is really
Dorkiness.
truly how we communicate with each other.
Yes.
It
Yes.
is. I really do have 4 bottles of
Yeah, she
you
does.
know,
She really does. Yes. I
or
verified.
or like when I call her like I did this morning, and I'm like, so yeah, I'm gonna be late again, and I know this doesn't surprise either one of us. Um,
I'm like, well, I'm here. You show up whenever you do.
exactly. So, but we just wanted to give you a little insight into our relationship because we have
Yes,
a good time. We enjoy
we
what we
do.
do. We enjoy our friendship, and and we want you to get to know us. And at the same time, we want to give you some education, which is all
Correct.
about following that wisdom. So
Right.
when the next time you get that thing like, I know I'm supposed to sign up for this, or I know I'm supposed to buy this, or I know I'm supposed to do this, but I don't know why, just do it.
Just
Just
do it.
just say yes,
Say
I'm doing
yes.
this.
Yes.
I literally put a deposit down on a 3-day retreat halfway across the country
Hey,
in October.
but
I'm
hey,
going, whatever that looks
yes.
like.
But we're saying yes to you guys, and we hope you tune back into our next episode.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us
Thank
today.
you.